What is the primary purpose of setting a default endpoint for an Azure AI service? A. To ensure high availability. B. To simplify the integration process. C. To reduce latency. To manage costs. The correct answer is B. To simplify the integration process. Setting a default endpoint simplifies the integration process by providing a consistent URL for accessing the service. Which Azure service allows you to configure a default endpoint for your AI solution? A. Azure Cognitive Services. B. Azure Kubernetes Service. C. Azure Functions. D. Azure DevOps. The correct answer is A. Azure Cognitive Services. Azure Cognitive Services allows you to configure a default endpoint for various AI services, making it easier to manage and integrate them. When configuring a default endpoint, which of the following is a best practice? Using a custom domain name. B. Using the default domain provided by Azure. Using an IP address. D. Using a third-party DNS service. The correct answer is A. Using a custom domain name. Using a custom domain name is a best practice as it provides better control and branding for your service. How can you secure the default endpoint for an Azure AI service? By using B. By implementing SSL/TLS encryption. C. By using a firewall. D. By using a proxy server. The correct answer is B. By implementing SSL/TLS encryption. Implementing SSL/TLS encryption secures the data transmitted between the client and the service, ensuring the default endpoint is secure. What is a potential drawback of not setting a default endpoint for your Azure AI service? A. Increased complexity in service integration. B. Higher latency. C. Increased costs. D. Reduced availability. The correct answer is A. Increased complexity in service integration. Not setting a default endpoint can lead to increased complexity in service integration as each service might have a different URL. Which tool can you use to monitor the performance of your default endpoint in Azure? A. Azure Monitor. B. Azure DevTest Labs. C. Azure Policy. D. Azure Blueprints. The correct answer is A. Azure Monitor. Azure Monitor provides comprehensive monitoring and diagnostics capabilities, allowing you to track the performance of your default endpoint.